There was something we were seeing a lot more of these days, which is probably the most disgusting thing the HO has been doing. Well, I know there's a lot of HO fanboys out there that would say, no, the HO, they make money for us. Oh, please, we love the HO. But
For us.
oh yeah, trust
For
me,
us.
there's out there in the
Have you
comment
seen
section.
where they spend that money?
There's the HO doesn't spend the money, right? But there's people who, believe it or not, who come to their defense for all these tactics they're doing and all the harsh-handed tactics the HO are doing. There's people who actually, holding the fans out, saying, we love you ATO. So this is another thing that the HO is doing. It's called director penalty notices.
DPNs, eh?
DPNs, director penalty notices, where it's something where, when I started out, never saw, not up until probably the last 2 years, where the HO are handing them out like a good Christian handing out tracts on a sidewalk in the city. So they're handing them out like you wouldn't believe. Every week we're seeing a new DPN.
We are.
What is a DPN? And firstly, DPNs are for directors of businesses. It's called a director's penalty notice. So if you're a director of a business and you have unpaid debt, you could see a DPN. Now, tell us about DPNs.
Essentially, director penalty notices can be received by the director, and it's essentially the debt that's in the company, right, that makes the director personally liable, if not fixed within 21 days of receiving that notice, right? So that can include GST, pay-as-you-go, and super.
So if you have a company and you got some debts on there which you're trying to pay, you're trying to bring money in, and you get these letters, what is ATO saying to you?
Essentially, they're saying, pay this now, or sort it out, or we're gonna make you personally liable for that debt. Now, what that looks like essentially is they send you this DPN, they send you this letter, right? On the letter, it will have the amounts that you're going to be personally liable for, okay? And if you've lodged on time, perfect. There are solutions. We can kind of sort it within that 21 days. We'll have a discussion with the client, discuss potential options, whether liquidation is an option, whether SBR, a small business restructure, is an option, or whether they're willing to pay it down through refinancing, or simply they have the funds parked elsewhere in other investments that they just need to sort it out.
So when you get a DPN, what it looks like is, say you have 50K owing on your company. Ever pull up your tax portal, you see on your company account you got 50K owing. What it looks like is, if you go up on your personal tax portal as a director, you'll see that amount also showing on your personal account as well. So the HO have applied what you owe on the company, they've applied it to your personal name.
Correct.
That's what it looks like.
There's a lot of, you are protected and you do have this corporate veil in a company. However, these DPNs essentially slash that corporate veil in half, and you must respond within those 21 days. If you don't, that's personal tax debt that you are liable for. Yeah. And they can take away your home for that.
Yeah.
Right? They can garnish you. They can garnish your personal name.
That's right. But if the company pays that debt off, say, for example, you receive DPN and you go, look, it's just a rough patch. I have, 50K coming in next week, and you pay off the debt, fine. It clears off the company name and it clears off your personal name.
Yep.
But if you are genuinely struggling in a business, say, for example, I've had this for many clients that in the trades, especially, this business went into liquidation. They can't pay me. They owed me $200,000. I owe $100,000 in tax. I was relying on that money to pay my tax. Now, genuinely, they've shut down. I can't get my money. And now I've been stuck with this tax debt. And now the HO's issued a DPN on me.
Unfortunately, the trickle effect is in full, right? The larger companies always smash the little guys, and then the little guys can't afford to pay the tax debt off. They're forced to shut down, right? The problem is, if you let that DPN go, they may appoint their own external administrator.
Yeah.
We like to get on the front foot and appoint our own administrator.
Yeah.
That provides us with a little bit more communication with that guy. We're able to seek favorable terms with the ATO, and from there are other solutions.
So if you get hit with a DPN, and let's say your business is trading insolvently, you can't cover this tax debt, and now the HO's hit you with a DPN in your name. One, you should, first things first, call your accountant. Or even as an accountant, when our clients get this, we call them because a
100%.
conversation needs to be had. And if the answer is, look, I don't think I can pay this debt. This guy hasn't paid me. I don't know where I can get the money from. Then we need to look into whether this debt that's accumulated is from lodgements that have been lodged late, or if you've lodged all your BASs and tax returns on time, there may be scope where you can avoid being personally liable for it. So it's very important, especially with the HO these days breathing down everyone's neck and coming after you. It's very important that you stay up to date with your lodgements, even if you cannot pay the BAS. Say the BAS comes in, 20K BAS, you can't pay it, you don't have the money for it yet. You shouldn't avoid signing it, or you shouldn't say, oh, I'll deal with this later. You should still sign it, lodge your BAS. That way, if you still lodge all your activity statements or your tax returns within 3 months of the due date, when the HO comes at you with a DPN, you still can get out of that debt personally.
Correct.
Now that could be through your own administrator, could be through liquidation of the company where you close the company, could be through what's it called, when the administrator negotiates with the HO on your behalf.
SBR.
SBR. It could be through an SBR where the administrator could go talk to the HO saying, look, this guy is genuinely insolvent. He can't afford to pay this. You know, he had contractors he had invoices that were unpaid, and he can negotiate with the HO on your behalf to try to reduce that debt.
Correct.
So you have options.
There's a negative stigma around liquidation and bankruptcy, right? But it is a tool that we must use because this does happen more often than not.
Yeah.
And yes, you can trade out of it, but you're starting from the back fence. You're starting from ground zero. In fact, you're not even starting from ground zero. You're starting from negative. Because if a trade debtor gets written off at 200K, mate, like 200K is
that's your profit, and that's
everything.
So you've accumulated all this debt. You've paid everyone you need to pay, but this guy owes you 200 grand and it's not giving you money.
Say hypothetically, you're a trader and you have 5 staff, right? Your profit margins are probably 15 to 20% after all is said and done, wages, all of that. If you're only turning over $800,000 a year, right? We're looking at 175K. You're in the losses.
Your profit.
You're in the losses. And that's with everything going perfectly, right? Having the right systems, the right staff. There's always other issues when it comes to that. Your little apprentice can stuff up on a job and cost you $3 grand on the spot.
Profit margin on the job.
Right? So that happens once a month, let's say. So you're losing 40 to 50 grand there. Then a massive builder comes to you and says, we're shutting down. We're going to pay you cents on the dollar. What's the cents on the dollar? 5 cents.
5-10 cents if you're lucky.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
And then you expect these small businesses to go on like nothing happened. It's not gonna. It's not realistic.
So if you get a DPN, very important, please, anyone, if you get DPNs and the ATO are issuing them out, like no problem, like anyone can get one these days. If you get one, please call your accountant, get on the front foot, you may need to speak to an administrator or a liquidator. You might not even proceed with liquidation, but just to see your options, just to understand your options.
I'll go one step further. If your accountant isn't calling you when you have a DPN, that is a accountant. Pardon my French. That's a fucking accountant.
That's English, mate. That's English plain and clear. There's no French about that. Yeah. If you're getting a DPN and you haven't heard from your accountant, leave that guy. Leave that accountant. Get in contact with the proper accountant. They could save your house, honestly, because if you don't act within those 21 days, you could be left personally liable for that debt. And once it's in your personal name, you can't get out of it.
It's funny. We had a client recently cop a DPN. They defaulted on their payment plan. It was just they paid their recent BAS late. That's all. It wasn't even like they were defaulting on the plan because they couldn't afford the repayments. They were making the repayments. And then the BAS payment was made 3 or 4 days late. They copped a DPN for the last 2 BASs.
So you're telling me...
And they're compliant, yeah.
So you're telling me he was 3 days late on his BAS?
He or she,
and the HO came straight for his house. So essentially what you're telling me, he's 3 days late on his BAS payment.
Yeah.
Issued him with a DPN, and they wanted to chase him personally for the money.
They did.
After 3 days.
So
this is
all lodgements were on time.
This
is
our loving and forgiving ATO.
Yeah, they're so
all lodgements
forgiving.
are done on time. He missed the payment by 3 days. God forbid, he missed the payment by 3 days, and now the ATO made him personally liable. I want to come after him personally, come after his house, come after his assets to get their money.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's our ATO, bro.
Yeah, we literally got that DPN 3 days ago. I
lucky
was in
that-
shock
Good
because
news for that client, he's compliant.
yeah, that's right. So we're gonna sort it out.
Yeah.
We're gonna speak to him and sort it out. That's no issue.
Mm,
But
that just pisses me off.
it's showing how hardball they're playing nowadays.
Yeah.
We spoke recently about the interest and the penalty remission, but they're taking it a step further, and they're essentially, I don't know if it's knowingly or unknowingly, but they are destroying livelihoods. Like
Yeah.
people stress over this a lot.
Massive. It is
A
something,
lot.
especially the 21-day deadline. If
Yeah.
the ATO comes after you with a deadline, that 3 weeks, by the time you get the letter, probably half a week has passed already.
Correct.
So you get this letter and you got to do all these actions within 2 weeks. It's a lot of stress for someone who's already running a business, already trying to manage staff, talk to customers, talk to suppliers. And now you got the ATO who've given you a 2-week deadline before they come after you personally.
Yeah, we're blessed that we have online services for agents where we download those DPNs on the day. But I can guarantee you there's not many accountants
There's a
doing
lot of
that.
old school accountants where they'll still get their
Their
client
mail and send it to the client.
in the PO box.
Yep.
They'll go check it at the end of the week. And by the time they sift it through and scanned it in, 2 weeks have already passed. You got 1 week to act on this DPN.
Correct. And they probably didn't even tell their clients about that.
Yeah. So the ATO will DPN you, interest and penalty you.
There's a couple of colors that you need to be made aware of to go to the DPN, right? There's the blue sheet,
Different color letters, yeah.
right? There's the orange sheet, there's the red sheet, and then there's the DPN sheet. Now, if you're getting the blue, it's a little bit of a warning, right? Orange, it gets a bit more serious. When you're on the red, it's telling you that they're going to report them to creditors. And if you get that red letter, right? We spoke before about how they can cancel AMXs and things like that. Your credit gets affected when you get that red letter because they're about to send it to credit reporting agencies. So you know it's serious when you get the red letter. Then you get the DPN, and they're like as a business owner, you're saying, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble.
We still got to bleep that, but just bleep that.
I'm in trouble.
I'm in trouble. You can't
So-
say on a fucking podcast, you dumb
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, it's the ATO, honestly, they're not making it easy. In fact, they're going out of the way to make it very hard to run a small business in Australia. Yeah, it's disgusting.